Today marks the quarter-century of the birth of Queen Mary of England, but it is not likely that the British people will manifest much enthusiasm in celebration of the day. The Bloody Mary was the first queen to really reign over England, her predecessor, Queen Jane, having been ruler in name only 10 days. Mary was the daughter of Henry VIII and the first of his half-dozen spouses, Catherine of Aragon. She was a precocious child, according to her biographers, who attempt to prove their contention by saying that when only 4 years old, she entertained some visitors by a performance on the virginals. The latter instrument, it may be well to explain, was so called because it was played principally by young ladies. It was a keyed musical instrument and was the precursor of the harpsichord, which in turn gave way to the piano. At the age of 9, we are assured little Mary spoke Latin with great ease and assurance, much to the delight of her proud papa, who had given her an excellent education. Mary was only 2 years old when she was affianced to the Dauphin, son of Francis I of France. At 5, the French alliance having been broken off, she was promised to her cousin, the young Emperor Charles V. When she was 10, the matrimonial plans underwent another change, and she was proposed as the bride of Francis I, father of her first fiancé. This proposed alliance, however, was soon broken off, Wolsey having used the princess only as bait to further his political ends. The French king's second son, Henry, was then suggested as the husband for the princess. Mary sided with her mother in the controversy incident to Henry's attempt to divorce his first wife. But after Catherine died, the princess, then 20, made peace with her father, who forced from Mary the admission that the marriage between her father and mother was by God's law incestuous and unlawful. While in the eyes of all Europe, Mary was then the only legitimate child of Henry VIII. The latter compelled her to pass an unjust stigma on her own birth and her mother's good name. When Mary was 30, her father died and was succeeded on the throne by her half-brother, Edward VII, the son of Henry and Jane Seymour. When Edward died in 1553, he bequeathed the crown to Lady Jane Grey, the young wife of Lord Guilford Dudley and a daughter of the Duke of Suffolk. Jane was proclaimed queen, but after a reign of 10 days, she retired, and Mary ascended the throne and was royally received by the populace. In beginning her reign, she manifested the spirit of clemency and fully meant to spare the life of Jane. Wyatt's insurrection caused her to exercise the feminine prerogative of changing her mind, and Jane and her husband lost their heads. Although so often betrothed, Mary had no husband, and she had scarcely seated herself on the throne when she decided to marry Philip of Spain, although he was 11 years her junior. This matrimonial project was very unpopular and caused another rebellion, which the Queen's forces quickly suppressed. She commenced a persecution of Protestants, which earned for her the title of the Bloody Mary. When she died, after a reign of 5 years, the event was hailed with joy by the populace. Mary's half-sister, Elizabeth, good Queen Bess, who had been confined in the Tower during Mary's reign, shined up into the vacant throne before it had time to get cold, to quote a Kansas historian, and held it down for 45 years of the most eventful reigning ever reigned by an English reigner.